Can you hear me now? Thank you. Is it audible? Yes. Now, what I'm saying is, I'm discussing about this topic that is called status and problems in public administration. Now, in this status and problems, what I said, the present status is that administration, unlike the Weber model and Taylor, they said that administrators should always go with the duty-based ethics, right? Now, today it is no more confined to duty because the role of administrators has changed from duty to citizen-centric approach. Citizens are participating in the governance. As a result, the bureaucrats should carry rights-based approach rather than duty-based approach. This is what we discussed. Hence, this is not just duty, but also the emotional intelligence, which is going to play a crucial role. In emotional intelligence, we discussed this concept and I said the same thing. Yes, this is the present status. One change is this one. The second change that you find is today, public services are not only delivered just by the government, but many civil societies are also a part and parcel of your delivery of governance structures. For example, civil society, NGOs, trusts, they will be playing a crucial role. Hence, it is not just like bureaucratic structure today. You have other structures also, which is playing a crucial role in the developmental activities. Hence, you have to incorporate all these things in the status also. As a result, the governance also changes, right from your bureaucracy. Today, it is beyond that. Civil organizations, NGOs, various trusts are playing a crucial role in developmental activities. However, the problem still exists in the same way. What is that problem? The problem is here itself. They are being apathetic because they are not being empathetic, tolerance. They are not having tolerance. So, if we problems is again administrative problems or administrative problems, they are still duty bounded. They are not having this emotional intelligence. That is one problem. And the other problem is even these institutions, which are forming a part and parcel of governance, they are also having certain vested interests, right? That is also another problem. So, in this way, think about and write an answer as far as that point is concerned. Hence, in order to overcome these problems, there is one concept called probity in governance. This we'll discuss. So, probity is related to this. See, why public services? This is what I have written so far. The content or the message is that one. Why public services don't function in India? Feudal mindset of public servant. See, this fellow, Gunnar Muttal, he writes in his Asian drama 1968, he writes, political independence has done a little more than displacing a foreigner with a native privilege group. What does this mean? We are just carrying that feudal mindset. Public servants are carrying just feudal mindset that we are the privileged class compared to others. Hence, it has not changed the scenario at the bottom level. And then I said lack of accountability, promotion, time-bound promotions, rarely out-of-turn promotion sense, effectiveness is not incentivized, right? Whether you do the work or whether you don't do the work, based on your seniority, you are going to get the promotions. Then there is no accountability. Hence, you are maintaining status quo. That is another problem. Confidentiality report. So, in order to overcome this report, that is, there is no confidentiality report which can give you that this civil servant has worked very well, give him highest mark, appoint him as the next boss. No, you have to go as per the hierarchy. So this is the thing. In order to overcome this problem in UP, an IAS association has started a new unique initiative. They started rising most corrupt officials from their fraternity. That is, they started seeing that okay, these sections of people they are getting promoted. This is not after the new government has formed. This is until the before Yogi Adityanath's appointment, right? What it contained? there was in the UP cadre, they have observed that those fellows who are very corrupt, they were getting higher promotions. And that was the report which was mentioned. The report clearly mentioned those who is favoring are showing some not partisanship towards a party, then definitely they are going to get promoted. So this is a proof that civil servants are giving away their values. Tolerance for incompetence. No, you have this tolerance for incompetence. Though you are not working, you will be continuing in the job because security of job is there. However, in order to overcome this problem, Rule 56J, it gives permission for the government to review the performance after 25 years of service, and if you are not satisfied, they can remove you. So 56J permits a civil servant, permits the government to review the performance of civil servant, and second ARC has also the same suggestions. Now, these are the suggestions how to overcome this. Confidentiality report, this is one way how civil servants are being given highest positions if they are being corrupt. Next, bureaucratic jungle of rules, laws, and regulations. There are a number of laws, rules, and regulations. Hence, in 1988, committee was formed to review this structure. This is the problem. This is the solution that they have. Next, there is poor work culture. Hence, you have to go with imbibing some work culture that you study in work culture components. Need for a political will. No, public service is the only way to ensure the will to reach the public. Now, look at this case study of Bihar. In Bihar, until 2010, the GDP growth was less than 5%. After that, they clocked, after Nitish Kumar has become the chief minister, they started clocking 10% of GDP. Why? Because initiatives were taken to ensure better service delivery. So, with the change in the political will at the helm of the affairs, the moment Nitish Kumar became the chief minister, his will towards the public service delivery changed. As a result, the entire structure reorganized or readjusted itself, and within a very short span of time, they have clocked double-digit growth. So this is how they have improved the public service. Hence, this shows that political will is important and it is going to change the dynamics. Conviction rates have to group speedy disposal of cases. They have done incentives to public officers who are doing really a good job. Minimum tenure of 2 years without random transfers. Transfers is one thing which is again a problem today. Education, administration focused. So administration focused on education, and hence GDP has performed a lot. So what does it indicate? It indicates that when a bureaucrat performs, individual level department performs. Next, there was examples. Upendranath Tripathi, I asked you to look at him, and then MP Vijay Kumar. See, he is a member of parliament from Tamil Nadu, municipal commissioner of Tamil Nadu. He worked as a municipal commissioner of Tamil Nadu also. Public education was chaos. He changed the syllabus and he made it as a pilot project. And activity-based learning, midday meals on time. He implemented all these things after becoming the commissioner, and within a very short span of time, this public education system in Tamil Nadu was streamlined. So this is how they say this. J.K. Tripathi, police stations are ideally to be service centers, but it is power centers. IG, economic offense wing, he tried to develop policing model for the poor who used to be participators in the crime. So crime rate has come down. What this fellow did? J.K. Tripathi, what he did, he tried a policing model from the poor. He used to call the people who were doing the petty crimes, and then he involved them in policing, right? Then the change has happened. He gave them the responsibility. Okay, you look after the persons who are doing some crime. We'll pay you some money. That is called policing model. However, there was one aspect called Salva Judum. Look at this. Salva Judum is also one way to tackle the Naxalism. By looking at J.K. Tripathi's initiative, few governments So this was similarly related to Naxalism. In Naxalism, to tackle Naxalism, there was one concept called Salva Jodum, where the locals were trained by the police to go and fight against the Naxals. And these tribals, they were given the guns to go and fight against the Naxals. Now this has created a controversy, saying that how can you send innocent tribals to fight against the Naxals? Rather than solving the problem, you are making the problem a big one. As a result, Salva Judum was criticized very much later part. So identically, no, at a very low stage, this fellow has done this, crime has come down. But the same thing was applied at the central level, that is going through the Naxals. They have given the weapons to these tribal people to go and fight against the Naxals rather than the police going and fighting against the Naxals. Now these people, local people, they started fighting and they lost their lives in their fight. Without getting proper training, these persons were sent. As a result, many lives were lost and government was criticized for this. So look at this Salva Judum aspect also. As a result, I said, in order to overcome this problem, you have one thing called probity in governance. Right? Let's look at this probity in governance. I'll quickly read this. Philosophical basis of governance. The ethical concerns of governance have been underscored widely in Indian scriptures and other treatises like Gita, Buddha Charita, Arthashastra. Right? These are the places from where you have taken governance. Governance has become the philosophical basis for governance has started in India. Kautilya's Arthashastra. Right? This is the first book which has discussed about the governance structures. Philosophical basis of governance lays down the emphasis on probity, integrity, and duty. Now, what is this probity? Probity is the evidence of ethical behavior in a particular process. Evidence of ethical behavior in a particular process. The term probity means, now look at this. I said when I was saying integrity, integrity is honesty plus model conduct, right? Now, probity is integrity, uprightness, honesty. It is integrity and included with some more other values. In government, maintaining probity involves more than simply avoiding corrupt or dishonest conduct. It involves public service values such as impartiality, accountability, transparency. Now, when I said this, integrity is honesty plus code of ethics. Now, if you are adding accountability, transparency, impartiality to this, that is values of civil servant, then that is going to be probity. I repeat, I said honesty is having a synchronization between your thoughts, speech, and actions. That is called honesty. Now, if you are moving from that aspect and if you are adding the so-called code of ethics, then that becomes integrity. If you are adding code of civil services, that is called values, foundational values of civil servants, then that is going to become probity. I hope you got the difference now. So probity is the highest stage of functioning of a civil servant. Probity is also regarded as incorruptible. Okay. Objective of probity in governance includes accountability in governance, integrity in public service, and ensuring compliance with the process to avoid potential for. So you have to follow the rules. Ensure compliance with processes to avoid potential misconduct and corruption. So probity is a higher thing which includes to be non-corruptible or incorruptible, right? And it includes accountability, it includes integrity, and it includes code of conduct, right? The standard code of conduct of civil services, civil servants. Just remember that. Then that is fine. I said about integrity, moral soundness, everything. So what is the difference between this? Honesty, then integrity, then probity. Honesty is thoughts, speech, action going together is called honesty. If you are adding code of ethics to it, it becomes integrity. If you are adding code of civil servants, that becomes probity. Simple. Remember this. Next. Now these are the pillars of integrity that we discussed already in emotional intelligence. I said if any pillar is becoming weak, then there will be a problem. Hence, in order to ensure that there is strong integrity, then these pillars has to be very strong. Failing of one pillar results in increased load shifting to other pillars. Right? If legislature is failed, then there will be huge pressure on the executive and huge pressure on the judiciary. Right? If legislature is failing, then people will go to judiciary and heavy burden occurs on judiciary. Then if executive is failing, similar thing happens. Legislature laws are not going to be working properly or executive again should intervene. So this is the thing. There is an apparent or unambiguous relationship in integrity and performance. Integrity is necessary condition to perform better. So they have given the dimensions from various examples, but the only thing is what I have understood after reading all this is first you have to know what exactly is the meaning of each and every term that they have given, and then you should know what is the status, present status, how it changed from previous domains. That is the second thing. And the third thing, I asked you to know about the problems. Problems is governance levels and NGO levels. Along with this, civil servants are also a part of the problem, right? Because they are not having the civil services foundational values, whatever the values that we study. As a result, the structure is very complex or the situation is this. So there is no governance, and hence it should be overcome by these values. Hence, it should be overcome by incorporating objectivity and transparency. How that happens? That happens like this. So the last thing is how to overcome that problems. Right? Here you have the other things called laws, rules, regulations, consigns that I'll discuss tomorrow. Right? Tomorrow I'll complete this chapter. Tomorrow I'm going to complete both of the things, right? Today I got some other work at this moment. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I'll be there for 2 minutes, but don't study much. That is what I'm saying. Think much. Reorientate the syllabus and go according to your thoughts. Okay, idi problem undi, idi status, idi solutions. And then think about the solutions. Think about the solutions. If you have any question, you can ask me. What exactly is civil society? Civil society, uh, civil society is like a group of public conscious people coming together. Group of public conscious people or civil conscious people coming together and forming an association is called civil society. Like as you know, Aristotle says, Aristotle says that there are different kinds of people. One person is they are not bothered about the society, rather they will be bothered about individual. See, he says that a family man, a family man will be just thinking about his family. He will never be having that extra dimension of the knowledge about society. He always thinks about his family, about his development and his family development. Now, a civil person is one who comes out of this domain and starts thinking about the society. right? Along with the family, he should come into the society and he has to think about the society, how this society is organized, what is the structures which are present in this, what is the problem that the society is facing. Then this society includes, various, not only your administrative structures, right? It includes laws, it includes the executive, it includes the judiciary, it includes the NGOs and everything. Now, as a general public, as a human being, if you are coming out of your personal domain, and if you are thinking about the society, why society is like this, why society are organized in this way, what is the problem of this society, how can I contribute to overcome this problem, then a group of people who is having that consciousness about the society, they are civilians, right? These are also civilians, but the difference between this person and this person is he is just confined to his personal work. Though he is a civilian, he is confined to his personal work. But if he is coming into the society and he is having the social consciousness, civil consciousness, right? Then that becomes that group of people who come together in this way, they become civil society. Now, after this, they will be moving into the administrative structures. In order to solve some problem, they think that okay, civil society is not just enough. You have to take part into the elections. You have to take part into the political system. They think about entering into the political systems and they try to transform the problems that they are facing. Now, this is the highest level of or highest form of power where you can change every other thing, whether that is a family or whether that is a civil society. So, if you want to go to this extent, that is to the political domain, the first starting point, what Aristotle clearly says is, as an individual, if you are interested in politics, first thing is you should be very sure that you are coming out of your family. And this can be happening only in one scenario where you are satisfied or where you are completely satisfied in your family duty, right? A person who is completely justifying his family, right? He has earned some money, he has some property, his family has some money to some food to eat. Though he goes out to do political activity, he will not be suffering, or his family members will not be suffering because of lack of food. Hence, he says that the first requirement for a person to go to the civil society is he has to fulfill his family role. Until that point of time, he still remains as a family person. Now, the moment he has got fulfillment in his family obligations, he has enough money, he saved it, right? He can get his children education even after he going out, right? Then at that point of time, he will be having that flexibility to move out of his family into the society. And then he starts thinking about society. What is the problem of the society? What exactly is the thing which is happening, and then they will form certain associations to overcome that problem. However, as these civil society organizations lacks legitimacy, which means they do not have the power to transform, the power is with the administrative structure, hence they try to go and get this political power. They slowly starts from here and they slowly moves to this political structure and they become administrators, a part of political process, then that you call it as politics. This is civil society. This is family life. This is the difference between a civil society and politics. An individual should not be just family consciousness, should not just have family consciousness, but he should also have civil society consciousness. For example, in APPSC Group 1, you have this separate topic. In essay writing, they have one separate title saying that civil society, essay ethics on essay writing on civil society, right? Civil society, which means Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. You should be aware, just like your family, you should maintain the society in a similar way. You should maintain your society clean. That is called Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Now, that can be possible only when you are maintaining your house cleanly. Go as per Aristotle. Maintain your house clean first, and then you can think about the society cleanliness, right? Then civil society is this organization which has that social consciousness or societal consciousness, who has moved out of their domain of the family and they started thinking about the welfare of the society as a large. And this is how beautifully Aristotle says that not everyone can become an administrator, right? A man who doesn't have food to eat cannot go and administer properly. The reason is he will be always thinking about his family. And he says that hence voting right should not be given to every person. And Aristotle says this voting right should not be given to each and every person, because if you are giving voting right to this person who is at the individual level, he doesn't know how to utilize his vote properly because he doesn't know the problems of society, right? Hence, voting rights should not be given to these persons. Rather, you give voting rights to these persons who are social or who are participating in some civil societal organizations, right? That is how the story differs. But this is what the meaning of civil society, and the highest form is political entity. Today, I'll try to correct your papers, okay? Any other question? I mean, did you get the point? Right then, I'll wind up this session. Maximum, I'll try to complete tomorrow, this one, and we'll write for one more week. Try to write again one more week. I'll keep two more exams in the middle, 4, 4, or I'll give 6, 6 this time. Try to understand the question perfectly, what the question is speaking. Why I'm asking you every day to write one question is don't write more questions, because one question is enough. Think about what the question is. Think exactly what the question is trying to say. If you are writing that one question properly for 4 days, on the fifth day you can write two questions clearly. So start at a very low stage, no problem. You can improve, but address the question. Now everyone is writing. I do accept, and that is a very great step. Even with this point of writing, you'll get good marks. But I want some more improvement in that. If you are getting that taste, right, you'll be in the top. Rank is definitely, it will be in the top for sure. The only thing is not just writing appropriatively. That is most important. Otherwise, those who have qualified for the mains, 50% of the students, top 50%, you are in that. Now, let us move to the top 10%. If you are writing mains, if you want to be in that top 10% range, you have to address the question correctly. So, develop some comprehensive skills, right? Try reading some newspapers, okay, Hindu newspapers, right? That is the only thing that I say. Right? Try reading editorials every day and start discussing with your friends. With this, I am done for the day. If you have anything, you can ask me. I will be here for 2 more